Hello, Women Who Money Plan. Welcome to Monday. I don't know if that happened. Hello, Women Who Money Plan. Welcome to Money Mondays with Malika. I am so excited to be here today as we are getting closer to the holidays. Today's topic is going to be very beneficial as you start preparing for your holiday season. So I am Malika Daniels. For those who do not yet know me, I am a personal finance coach. I help women understand money, understand their relationship with money, and create plans so that they can achieve their financial goals. Every Monday, I come on here to talk about a financial topic, and we just do a quick 15-minute conversation about whatever that topic is. And today's topic is going to be gift giving. It's the holiday season. That is the time of year when lots of people realize that they end up overspending and wondering where all their money went, and feeling like when they're going into the new year, it's like, oh crap, I spent way too much money this holiday season and now I have to try to start all over in the new year. So I want to help prepare you to create plans so that way you're not finishing off this holiday season wondering where your money went and frustrated that you overdid it yet again this year. Okay. So let me pull up my notes and be ready to go. Okay, so with the holiday season coming up, we have things like gift giving, obviously, to our family and our friends. There's things that come up like Secret Santa at work, or maybe your kids' classrooms might have some type of gifts exchange. You're thinking of gifts for the classroom teachers or your kids if they're in different activities, the coaches, and all these different things. And I know a lot of times it just kind of adds up. You don't even realize ahead of time how many different people you buy gifts for. Just when you're in the gift giving season, it just starts seeming like, oh, there's somebody else I need to get this gift for, or somebody else, and it just kind of can spiral out of control when you're not planning ahead of time. So the first thing we want to do as Women Who Money Plan is we want to create a plan ahead of time so that we're not caught off guard with how we're spending our money, okay? So number one, you're going to want to look at your account and see what is the reality of your current financial situation. Do you have money left over from checks that can be going towards paying for gifts? Do you have money in a savings account that can be going towards paying for gifts? And just look at what amount that is available to you. Do you have resources to bring in some extra income that you plan on using that money for gift giving? Whatever it is, look at the reality of your situation, okay? Get a clear picture. You don't want to just base it off of what you want to do and not the reality of your actual situation. Yes, you might want to buy everyone $100 gift cards to something, but that might not be the reality of your situation. So the first thing is take a clear look at your situation. Then you're going to want to start making a list, okay? And your initial list might not be the list you end up with at the end of the day, but the list is going to be the people that you intend to buy gifts for, maybe the people that you typically buy gifts for each year. You're going to write all them down. If your children have 3 different teachers and you typically buy gifts for the teachers, you're going to want to write that down. If you are typically spending money on each of your siblings, your adult siblings, write all those people down that you typically spend money on and the amounts of money that you were thinking you would put towards their gift. You want to give yourself a spending limit for each person, and that spending limit is going to depend on whatever your specific account looks like. So if you have a lot of money available, maybe you want to have a high number per person that you're spending, and if you don't have a lot of money available, maybe you want to make it a little bit lower. And you can obviously fluctuate it. It doesn't have to be the same for each person. It can be dependent on the relationship that you have with that person. Maybe one person gets a little bit more than someone else that you don't have as strong a relationship with, okay? So you're making that list, and then I want you to start thinking about, after you make that list, who are the people that are on that list and why are they on this list? Is there anyone that's on here out of more obligation because you feel like you're supposed to give them a gift but you really don't want to and you'd rather not do it? Well, this is the time to actually stick to doing what you want to do with your money and not just do something with your money because you feel like you're supposed to. It is your finances, you are in control, and you do not have to give gifts to somebody if that's not what you really feel like doing. The worst thing I feel like you can do is spend your money because you feel like you have to, but you really didn't even want to spend your money on that, right? We want money to go towards the things that we enjoy, that we want, that are going to make us happy to put our money towards. So if there's anyone on that list that the reality is you really don't even want to give them a gift, cross them off the list. It is okay. Sometimes this might mean having conversations with people and letting them know, oh yeah, I'm really working on my finances right now, so I'm not going to be giving out as many gifts as you might be used to me giving out, and that is okay. They will survive. They will be okay. Other things that you can do is rethink how you typically give gifts. So, for example, if in your family, all of the adults, let's say cousins, aunts, uncles, adults that you're around, if everybody typically exchanges gifts, maybe you talk and see if you can do a secret Santa within the family with the adults. So instead of giving gifts for every adult in the family, maybe we just pick a name out of a hat and you just have to buy a gift for one of the adults in the family. Another option is thinking about having conversations of just doing the gifts for children that year. And maybe if it's a rule of kids under 18, or maybe you can even do 21, because sometimes those young adults do need that extra support around the holidays. So maybe 21 and younger, something like that, that's who we're going to be doing gifts for this year. But start having those conversations so you can really pinpoint what your list is going to be, who you need to spend money on. Other ideas that you can have if you do typically buy gifts for a lot of other people outside of your immediate family is thinking of gifts for the whole family for somebody else. So let's say you have a close family friend and you typically buy gifts for the wife, the husband, the kids, each separate person. Maybe you can buy one gift for that whole family unit, and that can possibly save you a little bit of money. So start thinking outside the box and how you can rework some of the things that you might have always done just because they're habits, and see what can be more effective to your wallet and to how you want to spend your money. Okay? So again, you also want to have conversations with people that you exchange gifts with about spending limits. Sometimes there are no conversations about, I can only spend about $50 this year or $20 this year on the gift. Have those conversations ahead of time, and that way you're not feeling bad if you feel like someone else went super overboard and spent a lot of money on your gift, and now you're over here trying to compensate and buy them something more. Just be upfront with people about what it is that you plan on being able to put towards your gifts this year. We're adults, we can have these conversations, we can all handle it, all right? $100 is going to be the amount that you're spending on gifts that year. Here are some methods that you can try. You can try the cash method, where you get out $500 in cash, and that is the money that you use for your gift spending. And when that is gone, it is gone. And that's going to force you to be a lot more cognizant of how much you're spending on each person and how many gifts you're getting and things like that, because it's not this amount of money that's just going to be an ongoing amount that you can spend, right? We're not just putting it on a credit card and see what happens at the end of this and hope and pray that the bill gets paid off later. So a cash method is one thing that you can try to help stick to your goals and reduce overspending. Another thing to look at is, again, how are you going to fund giving the gifts? So if it's a savings account, you're going to want to determine how much are you going to take out of your savings account. Are you really willing to get your savings account back down to zero for gift giving? And that's an account that's specifically for gift giving, maybe, but if it's not, you want to determine what amount you're going to take out of savings. If you don't have a savings already for your spending for gifts, you can determine how much money you want to set aside from each check. Maybe you want to put $25, $50 aside from each check to go into an account or to pull out into cash to help pay for gifts. So whatever it is, there's different options. You just want to make sure you have a plan. If the reality is that you do not have the extra cash to buy gifts, but you are determined to buy gifts for people this year, and you know that you're going to have to use a credit card, again, just create a plan around using that credit card. It should not be, you know what, I've got this credit card, I'm just going to spend whatever I can on here and we'll figure it out later, because that's just going to have you feeling stressed out later when you have all of this debt. You're now going to be paying lots of interest on all the debt, and then there's no plan to pay that off, and that's just going to deter you from being able to accomplish your other goals. So if you are putting your gift giving on credit cards, create your plan. What is the max you're willing to put on the credit card? How are you going to pay that off once the season is over? Are you going to start making payments towards that credit card right away as you go, more higher than the minimum payments, hopefully, because that's going to help you to pay it down faster? Are you going to create your debt payoff plan starting in January to knock that out? Whatever it is, you make sure you have a plan going into it on how you want to pay off that card. One of the really cool things I think that I have not yet tried, but I keep saying every year I'm going to do, is planning ahead from the beginning of the year. I know that there are some people out there who start pretty much in January prepping for the holiday season at the end of the year. So when they see things that are on sale or on clearance throughout the year, they can buy them then and put them aside. One thing I will say is make sure you're keeping track of who you've already bought gifts for, where you're putting the gifts, how much you spent, because sometimes this can be a recipe for overspending. Because if you're just spending throughout the year, you're not realizing how much you're actually spending on somebody if you're not tracking it. So I love the idea of buying gifts throughout the year when you see different sales and things like that. But again, you still want to have some type of tracking with that so that you realize you're not completely overspending more than you really even meant to spend on the holiday gifts. And another thing I want to point out is holidays, gift giving is obviously really something that can break the budget during the holidays, but there's other things that come up that people tend to overspend on. And so you just really want to be cognizant of when you're spending on decorations for Christmas. If that's something that's really important to you, that's awesome. But again, set aside your budget and how much you're willing to spend on decorations so that you're not just going crazy with it and then later regretting that you have no money because you're confused on where all your money went, but it went to the blow up Santa that's outside. But if you saved for the blow up Santa and that was a part of your plan, awesome. Nothing against the blow up Santa. But again, so things like decorations, you want to make sure that you're clear on how much you're going to be spending on those, if that's a part of your holiday budget. Clothes, I know some people really like to get dressed up around the holidays and have brand new outfits that they're wearing or that their kids are wearing and things like that, or church outfits or anything like that. That's great. Just have it in your plan, okay? Just make sure you're aware that these are things that cost money typically around the holidays. And so what's your plan for them? So decorations, clothes, holiday cards, if that's something that you like to spend on, create your budget on what that's going to be. If that's something that's not that important to you, then maybe you don't have to do the holiday card. You can send out a holiday Facebook message or something like that. That's totally fine too. You just want to make sure that it's aligned with what you care about and not just what you think you're supposed to do because other people are doing it or someone else said you should, okay? Other things that come up around the holidays are certain experiences. There's different things like the Polar Express train and all these different things that you can do with your family around the holidays, which are great, but you just want to make sure that you set up your budget around that. You maybe pick 2 experiences that you're going to do instead of trying to do all 10 that you've heard about that are going on in your neighborhood. So again, just making sure you have a plan in place on how much you're planning on spending on those different experiences. And then of course, another thing that can blow your budget out the water is traveling around the holidays because it's a lot more expensive, obviously, to travel for the holidays. So just planning for that ahead of time, making sure you can find any discounts where possible when you're trying to travel. But those are things to take into account around the holidays in addition to gift giving. Just want to make sure to remind you of those. And one of the most important things about the holidays is you want to spend your money and your time on the things that matter most to you, and that's just the most important part. You don't want to be doing things because someone else says you should or someone else is making you feel bad about doing it or not doing something. So again, focus on what you value for the holidays, what you want your family to remember for the holidays and what's important to them, and then that's where you want to put your money towards those things, okay? And so I want you to experience a wonderful holiday season without any of that regret of overspending or shame or any of that, those feelings that can come with not having a plan in place. So that's just the important part. At Women Who Money Plan, we really focus on putting a plan in place to make sure that our money is going towards the things that we want it to go towards, and we're not spending on the things that we don't want it to spend on and that are going to make us feel some kind of way about it later on. So digging through our spending, figuring out our plan isn't always easy. So if you think that you can benefit from some help with that, you can always reach out to me and we can see if financial coaching could benefit you as well and maybe help you through this holiday season a little bit easier. And I'm always willing to do that. I'll put my link for the free consultation in the chat here. And so that way, if you feel like, you know what, I need a little bit more support, I'm tired of every year feeling like I've messed up at the holidays because come January I'm in lots of debt and I don't want to repeat that cycle, let's schedule a consultation and see if we can do something about that and ending that cycle for you. They will not be alive next week. I am going to cancel that. My kids will be home for the Thanksgiving break, so I will making sure to put some time away for them. And when we return the following week, we'll be talking about the 4 bank account system that I recommend for organizing your money. So make sure you set your calendars for November 27th at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern so that you can join me for Money Mondays. They will talk about bank accounts. I hope this was helpful. I don't want you to be stressed when it comes to the holidays. The holidays is supposed to be a fun, joyous time, right? So we're going to do everything we can to have as much joy as possible and reduce the stress. And planning is one of the key things you can do to help reduce your stress. With that, I'll say if you have any other tips on ways that you save money around the holidays or how you organize your gift giving, please drop them in the chat. I would love to hear them and kind of see what else other people are doing out there to make sure they're reducing any of that holiday stress and any of that holiday debt that sometimes comes along. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. You'll see me again live. Have a great Thanksgiving. Take care.